Welcome to Brownstone Worldwide. Welcome to Brownstone Worldwide. Tips, topics, and talk, we got it all. Brownstone Boozy and Breakfast with Vernell. Here to entertain, and we will help you live well. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you are welcome in the essence. This broadcast, Brownstone, the light is contagious. But you need go on and receive it for yourself. Just open it, exuberant, evolution, excited. We standing on the foundation of expression. You might have seen, you might have been, or you could have gravitated. Our foundation, we want to create a space for all to collaborate and be liberated from eventually all over the globe. And we are extending a hand to those who are an extension from maybe platforms, dig into another stratosphere. Welcome to Brownstone Worldwide. Welcome to Brownstone Worldwide. Tips, topics, and talk, we got it all. Brownstone Boozy and Breakfast with Vernell. Here to entertain, and we will help you live well. And that is MSG, the message in the message. I can OD on my execution of excellency. And this as a man right now, and things aren't created, but see true.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the day shift. Yep, Sierra, I don't care what everybody says. This is Paulette. I'm the owner and founder of Brownstone Worldwide. Welcome to the day shift. Welcome to my little space. Y'all see my little backyard? For my people over here, y'all see my backyard? All the leaves and stuff are starting to, they told each other, yep. I believe it, Sierra, is too much happening right now. I do believe that. So we're going to be digging into that today. Listen, y'all, welcome to the day shift. I'm Paulette, owner and founder of Brownstone Worldwide, which houses, you guessed it, brownstoneworldwide.com for news and information and daily deals and coupons that you can use every single day, as well as Cityscape Radio and Brownstone Living magazine. All right, now, can I turn off my radio voice now? How y'all doing? What is going on? So much to cover today. Grab your coffee, grab your water, grab your meds, your vitamins, and your pen and paper, your journals, your planners. Get ready. This is my physical actual 6 list for the day. The folks on TikTok are already going in. It's so much to cover. I literally thought I had everything lined up on what I was going to be talking about. And y'all really going in, hey, Melanie, how are you? Come on in this room. Come on in, come on in. A couple of things we want to talk about here locally. Okay? Because I definitely need to share this information. Top nutrition researcher at the National Institute of Health bravely retires in protest because his work was censored under the Health Secretary RFK Jr. Unfortunately, recent events have made me question whether NIH continues to be a place where I can freely conduct unbiased science. Who wrote on X announcing the end of 21 years at his dream job. Specifically, I experienced censorship in the reporting of our research because of agency concerns that it did not appear to fully support preconceived narratives of my agency's leadership about ultra-processed food addiction. Hall, who has spent over 2 decades examining food environments as well as chronic diseases, he's one of the leading researchers of ultra-processed foods and was responsible for helping to prove that they can cause people to overeat. We knew that. We knew that. We know. It has been selfish. It has. It has. So under RFK, he discovered that research that didn't match the boss's preferred narratives was quashed. In one instance of censorship, he was barred from speaking to reporters about a study that appears to contradict Kennedy's claims that ultra-processed foods like chicken nuggets and hot dogs are as addictive as drugs. You know, for years, if I'm not mistaken, we have known that processed meats are considered a carcinogen. Hey, Kayshawn. How you doing? Awesome. Officials drew issue with the mention of health equity, which describes the fact that some people don't have the access to healthy food, which is an issue because there are food deserts that are out there. You're going to have to ask them that, Selfish. You're going to have to ask them that. The NIH has been a wonderful place because it allows scientists to take risks, form unique collaborations, and do studies difficult to conduct elsewhere. I'm proud of what we've accomplished, and I'm fortunate to have had such wonderful colleagues and scientific collaborations. This is a colossal loss for research and the broader American public. By the time this second Trump term is over, we'll have lost all of our greatest minds and move firmly into a dark age. It's a sad day when one of the most prominent nutrition researchers at NIH feels forced to leave a job that he loves in an area that he's having major public impact. Okay, so that's number one. Wanted to make sure that we talked about that. Number two, what's the other thing that we're talking about today? UW Wisconsin Madison. And y'all know I'm a cheesehead, so I gotta share this information. It's kind of made me a little sad too, because I was like, you what? What's happening? Why? What planet are we currently on? All right. UW Madison. The Trump administration has informed UW Madison that if it doesn't cut its Department of Energy budget from its usual negotiated rate of 55.5% down to 15%, federally funded research projects will be terminated. That's not all. On Friday, the public university also received notice it would stop encouraging underrepresented groups to participate in science, technology, engineering, and math, or STEM, as well as research on diversity and misinformation. The cuts that have been proposed at the federal level could have devastating impacts on research as well as education. Currently, the university is appealing funding decisions with agencies and is also participating in legal challenges to prevent wrongful cuts, grant termination, and delays. Now, at a high level, it is not hard to imagine the damage the cuts and related actions will ultimately do to Wisconsin innovation economy. They will inevitably impact, Selfish, that's your opinion, but I'm going to also say this. We're not here to talk about that in particular. Now, what I'm going to keep it 100. My block game is strong and the block is hot over here. If you don't know, I encourage and I really like the fact that we're able to talk to one another. But the one thing that we're not going to do is we're not going to argue with the host and we're not going to argue with people in the chat. We're not going to do that, because if we do, I don't mind blocking people. I don't mind doing that. And I'm not here to argue with, yep, it's time for you to go, baby. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's time for you to go. Yep, the block is hot. The block is hot. Yep, here we go. You're done. You're done. Yep, I let it go on for so long because it looked like healthy conversation. And then when you start going in and doing dumb stuff, I got to let you rock out somewhere else. Just not here. Not here. Take that somewhere else. Hey, Angie T, how are you? Sierra is someone that's been here before. You don't know who we are, and we don't roll like that. We like to respect one another here. I'm not here for debate and to be doing all that cussing and arguing and fighting. Go find somebody else that you can do that with. Just not here. Deuces. Angie, you good? What's up? that's too much. You still watching? Are you okay? Hey, Helen Crafts. How are you? And I hated to do it. I was trying to see how the conversation was going to go just because we're doing other things or whatever. I can still see. Yeah. Yeah. What? Listen, Corny, 1935. Listen. Whoo, when I tell you I'm over it, yeah, let's continue to keep talking. So one of the things that we definitely want to make sure we do is respect each other in the space. But when we get to getting ugly, I can't get down. We're not doing that. We are not doing that. Absolutely not. All right. If what you say, RFK is going to kill us all, I don't know about that, but this is the same man that believes that Black people can endure more pain than other races. And it's been, quote, scientifically proven. That's what he said. I didn't make that up. I watched the Senate hearings where he openly admitted that he believed that. Yep. All right. So let's get into the other stuff that we were going to be talking about today. Because, of course, you guys always bring back some other things that we definitely need to be talking about. So, woo! Some people, and I love us all, but we're not gonna do that. He believes in eugenics. Yes, he does. Yep. And you know, yesterday, one of the things that's happened so far is he wants to put people who have autism on a registry. That would be half the country. Literally, that would be all of us. Because the one thing that we don't think about is the fact that now that we know that there is something that is called autism, this isn't new. This isn't new. They've put a name on it, and they've identified exactly what it is. This started happening when I was in school. We knew about Asperger's. We knew about all of those things. But now they're able to identify and dig deeper and go further. Right. So what are you going to do? You're going to put everybody in it. So we're talking about people who back in the day had lobotomies. Come on. So when we're hearing about, and what you going to do with all these people on the registry? What you going to do with them? I have one. She's graduating college next week, Saturday. So all of these people that have been, quote, diagnosed as having an issue. See, now that one, Kayshawn, one of the things that the one thing we're talking about, a whole group of people that are trying to give you $5,000 to have a baby. Really? How about this? Just go ahead. Fleetwood. Do you remember there was a song called The Twilight Zone? Here in the twilight zone. Yeah. Just, I don't know. So, Democratic lawmakers, let's get into that as well, who traveled to El Salvador, say that they did not get proof of life for deported Venezuelan makeup artist. Four House Democrats who recently traveled to El Salvador have formally requested proof of life for Andre Jose Hernandez Romero, a 19-year-old Venezuelan asylum seeker deportee who is supposed to be detained at the Secot maximum security prison. These four representatives delivered a letter to Secretary of State Marco Rubio and U.S. Ambassador El Salvador William Duncan, urging immediate action to confirm Hernandez Romero's well-being after not getting that reassurance. The case of Romero, a gay makeup artist, gained national attention after being deported from the U.S. in March for being classified a gang member due to tattoos of crowns with the words mom and dad, which is a cultural symbol common in his hometown of Capacho, Venezuela, according to an in-depth report by The Guardian published on April 1st. His tattoos were interpreted by immigration officials as indicators of affiliation with the Tren de Aragua gang, despite the absence of any criminal record. Again, therein lies the lack of due process. Hey, Didi. The lawmakers are demanding that either they or Hernandez Romero's legal team be allowed to conduct a welfare check regarding his health, safety, and current legal status. They raised concerns about his disappearance from communication since March 14th, emphasized the need for transparency regarding his condition and treatment in custody. How y'all feel about that? Hey, D Natural, how are you? Here's my concern. Is that, number one, if you cannot prove proof of life, let this sink in. If you cannot prove proof of life, not just for him, but for others that have absolutely disappeared, where are we in terms of being like so many dictators in our past? Because now you really do have what on your hands? Okay, I just wanted to go on ahead and put that out there. Because why not? Wife of wrongly deported Maryland man, Kilmar Obrego Garcia, has been forced into a safe house because the government shared her address with the public. Was it intentional? I don't know. But anytime I see anything that is a legal document, what do? They cover up the address. These folks did not. Jennifer Vasquez Sura said she began fearing for her safety and the safety of her 3 children after the Department of Homeland Security shared a protective order from 2021 that prominently featured her address to the department's 2.4 million followers on X. She says she doesn't feel safe when the government posted her address, the house where my family lives. For everyone, good morning. Hope your rest was well and thank you for the updates. Of course, of course, of course. Statement from DHS to the Independent said these are public documents that anyone can get access to. That's your excuse? Help me. Thank you. Hey, Kimberly. Thank you, Corny. That's your excuse. DHS, you still ought to know better. Oh, wait. I'm asking too much. Democratic officials and advocates argue Obrego Garcia was denied due process to fight such claims in court after the administration defied a 2019 court order that blocked his removal from the United States for humanitarian reasons. Now, I want you guys to know that they have also been ordered to bring others back. Thank you so much, Kimberly. I appreciate you. And they're still not going to do it. Now, the wife is also saying, look, Kilmar is not perfect. Nobody is. Day by day, you grow. Every day, you learn. And he was trying his best for me, for our kids, for our future. DHS has not been able to provide any comment on this. Here we go. Here's one. Because y'all know I got to get both sides, right? AOC and Bernie Sanders have been blasted for using $7 million on a private jet. We're not going to make any excuses for anybody, but let's go ahead and take a look at it, shall we? Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez of New York and self-proclaimed Democratic Socialist Bernie Sanders of Vermont were filmed by Fox News boarding a private $15,000 per hour private jet to travel to events on their Fighting Oligarchy tour. Is it, Tony? The plane itself carries a hefty price tag as well, with models ranging from $5 million to $7 million. Now, according to the report, Sanders and AOC boarded the luxurious Bombardier Challenger jet in California on Tuesday afternoon after speaking at a tour stop in Bakersfield. But their use of a private jet directly contradicts comments they have made in the past disparaging unnecessary polluting practices. How many private jets do these CEOs need? AOC said in 2023. It is insatiable, unacceptable. I do not know any person that can say I need another 100 million before another person can have health care. You got to love the hypocrisy of the left. Exactly. Who paid for it? Who paid for it? Therein lies where I was going with that. We don't know who paid for this or if it was donated. We don't know. So when we are out here and we're providing half truths, we don't know who paid for it. Period. So journalist Kyle Becker posted, noted green activist jumps off a private plane on Earth Day. What happened to saving the Earth? Was she supposed to drive and they on a heavy schedule? I don't even know if y'all realize. Some of you all may, if you're a truck driver or whatever. But when I was on tour full time, we didn't take planes. I think I took a plane twice during one of the tours that we did when it was a local US tour, when we had to fly. We had to be in New York like the next morning or something, and then we had to turn around and go back to California. And so they had to put us on flights. Otherwise, we were on a bus. Y'all know how exhausting that is to go from city to city to city to city. In between, you could sleep. I said from day one that all of them should be returned. I'm guessing with those two donated. I'm sure it was. Because in order for you to get to all of those places in between, hey, Alice Keys, in order for you to get from all of those places in between, you have to be well rested. Because I never was. Because as soon as you get to where you're going, you got to get off that bus, and then you have to put your face on, show face. Sometimes you can't even get to the hotel to wash your tail. You got to be ready right then. So we were all using the same stinking bathroom, trying to freshen up a little bit with a bottle of water. Nah, it was not cute. It is not the glamour that they tell you it is. So when you hear these stories, always make sure that AOC, however, was also spotted, check this out, last month traveling to a tour event on a commercial flight. Now, she flew JetBlue from New York to Las Vegas before speaking to a massive crowd in Sin City. So what this tells me is this really sounds like, one, they're probably using their own money. And number two, this was probably donated for them and said, hey, y'all go ahead and use that. Yeah, they know they're under the microscope. Absolutely, Carol Sue. They know it. It's always game. It's always like tit for tat while people are, okay. Let's talk about Tom Homan, shall we? Who I literally, he can't get up. This dude is so glad to be in the position that he in. You can tell by the glee on his face when he is talking about how he wants to treat people who he says are here illegally. He seems so excited and happy. Border czar Tom Homan appeared on Hannity exactly Wednesday night and listed 8 questions for the Democrats who traveled to El Salvador to visit illegal migrant Kilmar Armando Abrego Garcia. Since March, Democrats have rallied behind Garcia after he was deported to El Salvador's mega prison by the Trump administration. So now, Senator Holland went down there first, talked to him firsthand. And then, of course, you had Margaritagate, all of the things, right, where they made it look like he was sipping margaritas and having a great time, when in reality, it was 2 cups of water with salt around the rim. And he shared 2 pictures to show that it was all run and game. He's happy because the law is finally being enforced. No, it is not being enforced, because if we're gonna follow the letter of the law, then everybody needs to follow the letter of the law. Have y'all seen this man's face? He's so excited he don't know what to do with himself. Okay, so here are the questions. Where were you When thousands of American parents buried their children, they got separated from children forever because they were killed by illegal aliens that entered this country illegally. That's preventable crimes. Okay. Let me move on. Where were you when the 600% increase in sex trafficking with the Biden administration? Where were you when 10.5 million people came to our borders illegally? Okay. Where were you when millions were released in the United States in defiance of federal law? The law says you come to this country, you come to our borders without proper documentation, you shall be detained. Not released, you shall be detained. Where were you when they released the millions of people in the United States? Where were you when a record number of people on terrorist watch lists crossed this border and released the United States with no vetting? Now, under the Biden administration, more than 8 million migrants were encountered at the southern border over the past 4 fiscal years. The deaths of a 12-year-old, a 37-year-old, and 22-year-old during the previous administration border crisis shocked Americans as their murder suspects were illegal immigrants. Holman went on to question where Democrats were when the border crisis fueled the drug influx into the U.S., calling out their silence during the last administration. He went on to ask, where were you when 250,000 Americans died from fentanyl coming across the border, open border? Now it says open border. I don't understand that. Biden administration, where were you then? You were silent, which means you're complicit. You didn't say a word about the violation of laws that put America at great risk, not just public safety, national security. Then he goes on to say, and I'm reading this because I need this to be said. So if everyone follows the law, they wouldn't enter our country illegally. Bless your heart. I'm sorry, Donald. I don't understand what you're talking about. The ICC going to get them. Venezuela filing against them. Yep, correct. They are, Carol Sue. Here's what you need to understand. Everybody should be following the law. I don't care who this is. And correct. He doesn't have data to, whenever you're running your mouth like that and you're talking slick, be able to back your data up. Now, to some degree, I will say, fight me on this one. Democrats should have been stood up before now. We know that. Nowhere in any time have I ever said that I have been, or anyone in this room who comes here often has ever said we were excited or happy with what the Democrats have been doing or underperforming in. We never said that. Yes, he is. Have been flat-footed. So with all of this going on, we're not surprised at all. What is happening, and I'm going to go here. When I found out that 4 more people from the Democratic Party were headed to El Salvador, well, hell, if you're going to do that and jump on the bandwagon, because I'm going to keep it 100, that's what I thought. If you're going to do that, then go see about the women and children that are being held here in this country. And here's something else. We're talking about this administration picking up people who are here legally. You got a visa. You got your green card. You have your F1A status. You're a student and you're picking people up. This is what we're talking about. I have said it before. I'll say it again. I'm not happy with what the Dems have been doing. That's all I'm saying. They out of pocket. Because if you're gonna go after one, if you're gonna go down there and see about one, go see about all of them who were picked up and are being detained in prisons. And I'm using a nice word, in prisons, both here and in other countries, without due process. And we've discussed due process here. So if you are new here, that's what we discuss here. I don't think anybody in here. What the heck? Okay, now see. Let me clean this up. Let me go ahead and clarify. If you are a student and you are on campus and if you are living in this country, you have a right to what? Based on the First Amendment. We talked about this yesterday. Is that what you believe, Angie? Then this ain't the room for you, baby. The block is hot. This ain't the room for you. Mm-hmm. Yep. Due process. That's all we're saying. Hey, Deals with Nia, how are you? Come on in. It's all about due process. Do right because it is right. Now, if you're going to be picking these people up and locking them up in handcuffs and chains and all of this, you got to have a reason why you're doing it. You just can't keep doing that. You just can't do that. It's unconstitutional. We learned that this week. We read it together. Y'all need me to read it again? I don't think you do. Exactly, Deanna. That's all I'm saying. If you're gonna do, if you're gonna call everybody out for doing something illegal, call his ass out too. Call them all out. Call him out for jumping. Call him out for jumping on the bandwagon, and the four of y'all went down there after proof of life had already been established. What you going back down there for? Go check on them other people. As a matter of fact, go back, go do your job, Dems, and handle what needs to be handled in the Senate and the House. If we're going to do that, if we're talking about following the law, follow the law. That's it. I don't care who it is. Right, left, up, down, it makes no difference. Treat people right. Follow the law. And if you're not following the law, a couple things need to be identified. We have said this before in this room. Deanna, I believe you're right. But he's not the only one. These people were here legally. The law says, let's talk about that. Simply follow the law. And if you cannot, let's go back and figure out why so many people are coming into this country illegally and do something about it. We've had this conversation before. I had friends in the past who had taken 20, 25, 30 years, and it was so expensive to get it done that while they were waiting to get it done, they had filed the proper paperwork, done all the things, legal fees, attorney's fees, all the things. And before you knew it, you had lived your whole life waiting for a chance to get in front of the proper people to be declared an American citizen. And if you don't have the money to do that, it's going to take a hell of a long time for you to do it. So the question should be, if these people want a proper way to get into the country, then what do we need to do to make it easier for those who want to come into the country? How do we make it easier for them and not as expensive? I don't think that that's too much to ask. That's my point. And I think when people come in here and try to argue and fuss and fight and so forth, one of the things that they're missing is what High from Germany just said. I see nothing but numbers, right? He won't stop with, quote, illegals. Who's next? That's my whole point. Due process was not processed for any of them. And it does not say in the Constitution that you have to be an American citizen to get due process. It doesn't say that. And that is why they are trying their best to do something about the 14th Amendment. Because now you got some folks who are saying, well, I was born here. My parents were born here. What do I need to do? And we need to define what that means in terms of us saying person. So now here we are trying to adjust that. And people continue to miss that. And you want to come in here and be argumentative when people don't understand on either side of the aisle. They don't care about you. They don't care about me. They are absolutely unbothered. How can we keep our grubby, nasty, fat, juicy hands on these people's necks and take everything that they have until there is no more? We're going to keep them arguing with each other while we continue to take in their face. Only 2 months to install full dictator power. Yep. It's almost as if he's reading the rule book, doesn't he? And they are very clear. We're going to do what we want and you can't stop us. Now, there have been times I have made recordings. Yes, 1933, you are absolutely correct. There have been recordings that I have done where I said, y'all ain't going to do nothing. Everybody going to lay down and do absolutely nothing. We're going to continue to keep talking about it. Yep. Correct. Remember, the 14th Amendment to the Constitution affects First Nation and African, and it does. Which brings me back to the point that the person from Germany just said, which is what? If that is impacted, it impacts me. It impacts a ton of other people. A lot of you all that are watching this right now need to understand that this, even though we're talking about people's lives right now who were here legally with asylum and so forth, and the right to the same liberties and freedoms as others because of the Constitution, what they're saying is screw the Constitution. This is the way it's going to be, and y'all going to shut up, eat cake, and like it. We run it. We're going to do what we want to do, and ain't nothing you can do about it. Instead of looking at how to make things better for people, you want to make things worse so you can continue to keep lining your pockets. Come on now. And you're going to shut up and you're going to like it. And in the meantime, black, white, y'all keep fighting. I'm going to move out the way. And we're going to continue to keep destroying everything that this country was built upon. And we're going to make it the way we want it. And it ain't nothing y'all can do. Because we got the Senate and we got the House. And honestly, we got SCOTUS too. And while y'all been out here scrolling through whatever, and while you've been out here arguing with each other about all of these things and wearing my made in China hats and caps and t-shirts and flying the blue and red flag in your yards that are still there from 2020, we have slowly been dismantling everything that you know to be about this country, and we ain't done. And guess what? You still ain't gonna do nothing about it. I don't have nothing to say, Keishawn. I just had to turn away. Am I wrong? See you later, Didi. Chaos at the Pentagon right now with Pete Hegseth. You mean to tell me he's still here? What? You know why? Because you ain't gonna do nothing about it. And you know why I'm saying it like that? Because it reminds me of the bullies when I was in school. And that's exactly how they would look at you. Because they knew you couldn't do anything about it. You weren't bad enough. You weren't strong enough. You didn't have the power. You didn't have the might. You didn't have nothing. So what you gonna do? What you gonna do? America? And I sure hate to make it sound like that, but that's the look that Tom Homan gives. You ain't gonna do nothing. What you gonna do? I'm gonna do what I want to, and I'm glad it is happening like this. And I got the power to do whatever I want to do while he eats an apple smugly. Instead of fixing what the real issue is, we're gonna blame the people that's looking for a better way of life because somebody told them that they could come to the U.S. and make things better. if we're going to really be identifying who these people they say are, I don't understand not. Yeah. I had the same issue happen with me. I think I was in like the 7th or 8th grade or whatever. I was in middle school. And this girl kept bothering me. I still know that girl's name to this day. But she kept picking at me. And she kept telling me, you ain't going to do nothing. You ain't going to do nothing. Oh, okay. As long as I'm here, you too long. You get away. That's what I'm saying. Fleetwood, that's how come I said the way that I did. You ain't going to do nothing. What you going to do? Because you haven't, which means you won't. And while all of this is going on and on, yep, I said, let me put my books down. You said, what you say? You said, let me put my book. I didn't even have books in my hands. This girl kept picking with me. And so one day she finally got me in a corner and she had all her friends with her. And I didn't know who this girl was from a can of paint. All I was trying to do was go to class every single day, leave me alone, whatever. And baby, she swung on me for no reason with that tiny little fist. And she was much smaller than me, very tiny, little bitty thing. I think she was maybe 4 foot something or whatever. This is when the flip, get your hair pressed, get the flip or whatever. That's when I had hair. And honey, she swung on me and my glasses flew off my face and I had the big red ones. I'm going somewhere with it. And honey, this is why I don't fight. All I remember was when I came to, she was in a corner, leaned up against the brick wall at Rufus King High School. And the teacher had to come and get me up off of her. I didn't have no books in my hand. I remember what I had on that day. I had on blue jeans and I had on this god-awful pink sweater that didn't have a hood. It had these long, like, I don't know what it was. It was awful. It was so bad. And I had a flip haircut. And I whooped that girl. I whooped her because all I wanted her to do was leave me alone. And when I say that, it brings me back to this situation because they're bullies for no reason. Because they were put in power by people that were working off of their emotion instead of logic and what the data said. And so now they're empowered and they're the bullies and they're like, you ain't gonna do nothing. We got the Senate, we got the House, we got SCOTUS, everything is conservative and we're gonna do what we want. Even though he don't even remember where he at. Is he at the White House? He don't even know. So we don't care. So guess what? We're gonna tell him what it is and we're gonna read the executive order to him and he gonna sign it. No logic. It's all emotion. It's all based off of emotion. You don't have nothing else to go on. And so what you do is you keep pushing the people, and every time you're pushing them, you're tapping them. And eventually the tap turns into a smack, turns into a fist, turns into a shove in the chest, and then it turns, and then before you know it, guess what? We fight. But when we fight, and we fight back, and you get angry enough, just like I did that day, and that girl was in that corner, sitting on her bum, trying to figure out, because see, you thought, because I had the little glasses on, you thought I could be played with. No. I'm not even going to say her name. Sadly, she passed away a year after we graduated from high school. Because she continued to pick me. We ended up going to the same high school. Oh my God, it was so bad. I just wanted people to just leave me alone. That's all I wanted to do. But a lot of people never forgot that and they knew not to fool with me after that. Like they say, don't let the smooth taste fool you. And it's the same with American citizens. You say, don't let the smooth taste fool you, because even though we're tired, we're sick of this. Exactly. And that's exactly what's happening now, Fleetwood. We're to the point, they officially are no longer tapping us or smacking us. They got their fist balled up and they pummeling us, right? And I need you all to understand, just like yesterday, I watched him sign an executive order in. He don't even know what he's signing, y'all. He said, "What is this one?" And they read it to him verbatim. This is the same man that didn't even know if he was at the White House for Easter. So y'all want me to believe that he know? Try Jesus, not me, because I throw hands. And that's the American citizens. We're telling you, the greatest power of any autocracy is preemptive obedience. That's where we are. That's where we are. But in the meantime, hey, Gianna, come on in. In the meantime, we still need to know what's going on. We still need to know what our options are. How do we resist? Because this is a new kind of animal. Because I'm going to tell y'all something. This is an evil I haven't seen outside of textbooks. And I know that there are Republicans that are saying, I didn't vote for this. But here we are. And I keep saying that over and over and over. You didn't vote for this, but here we are. And we're watching. And so even though it may not be impacting you right now, go to the grocery store and see how much it impacts you. How much are eggs right now? He said the cost of eggs have gone down 93%. You don't have no data nowhere. Why? Because you don't even grocery shop. You probably couldn't tell me when was the last time you went to go pick up a carton of eggs yourself, if ever. So you really don't know what it costs. You don't know what it's costing people. You don't know the level of stress. Now you got all of these people that are out of work because of Doge. And now this cat said, well, I done enough damage. I'm going back over here and try to save my own company. Oh, P.S., by the way, hey, those tariffs that I agreed to and I was so excited about, can you stop those? Because it's impacting my company. They need to stand up then. You help make the mess. Now fix it. Fix it, dear life. There's a hole in the bucket. Do you hear me? So I'm going to put this out here and I'm going to ask this question because I got to thinking about last weekend's, this past weekend that just passed, those protests that were happening around the country, right? And the first ones. And then, you know, Cory Booker's filibuster and all of those things. And of course, I didn't say I wasn't feeling it. I think that it was a great statement. It's got everything on record of what's happening and all of that, right? What's the next move? What's the next move, folks? What do we do? Yep. Protest. Continue to protest. Where do we protest, folks? I'm going to tell you where I'm not going out in these streets with my little black self. Nope. I can't do it. I don't trust it. I don't trust it as far as I can throw it because I've seen what happens. And if a general strike, so when we're talking general strike, what are we talking about? Are we talking about on our jobs? What kind of strike are we talking about? Do we just shut everything down and continue to go local? Because here's emailed your rep, told him to stop gaslighting me. I'm not that stupid. Carol Sue is not playing with y'all. Do you hear me? Carol Sue is not playing. Did you make your phone calls yesterday, folks? Did you? Yeah, they do. They do. Kayshawn, I know exactly what you're trying to say. Yep, I am. I'm going to stay home. As bad as and let me tell y'all something. As bad as I want to get in these streets, I'm not moving. I want to get in these streets so bad. I want to be out there with all of y'all. I want to be out. Nope, I can't do it. For what? Right? No. Absolutely not. We can't afford to have so many of us out there and they'll be looking to call us everything. Oh, those thugs were out there and they're XYZ and they're so forth. Follow the law. Everybody should be following the law, period. That's what I say. I'm sorry. Y'all grab your coffee. Because I just saw something pop up on my screen. You too, G Nana. Yep, we know what it is. Hey, Anjali. God, I hope I say your name right. Rue for Spite. Palm Tree Pam. Hey, come on in. Come on in. Here's something else that we learned today, too. Well, actually, I found this out last night. Yesterday afternoon, rather. Walmart and Target, they told Trump in a private meeting that somehow so private we found out about it. The CEOs are privately warning him that the tariffs could lead to empty shelves soon. Why? To be a part of history. Yes. And I think we are, because the type of resistance that we're dealing with now has a lot more to do with how a lot of us are receiving our news. I couldn't tell you when was the last time I watched NBC News, CBS News, ABC, Fox, any of them. I couldn't tell you. I go to independent sources. Me either, G Nana. Too many of us in one area? Oh, no. And we know that. It's not that we don't want to be out there. We're not stupid. It would literally be mayhem out there. I'm learning how to choose my words carefully, folks. So, yes. So Democracy Now! I checked that one. The Dutch News, the BBC, PBS. There's another one. I think it was Angie S.R. Brillinger or Angie T told me about this one. I don't know which one it was, but Democratic Underground. I use that one as well for news and updates. And I will be honest with you, TikTok, Substack, I get a lot of my news from there. Where there are several, and then I also have an independent news feed that I use for Brownstone Worldwide. You have the AFD. Oh Lord. Thank you, headquarters. Yep. So ultimately what I'm saying is the Canadian news, anything but American news, because I know that it is censored. And I know that if journalists are quitting their jobs at 60 Minutes, if they're quitting their jobs, that's telling me everything I need to know. Y'all kiss the ring. Which means you're going to say whatever you want, whatever he wants you to say, whatever his press team says, and then that's going to become facts and it's going to be law. I'm going to tell y'all something, and I've said it before in here. My college professor in my freshman class. Was it my freshman class? Yeah, it was. My freshman class, I was taking a marketing class. He said, Johnny Q. Public is stupid. If you tell them something long enough, they will believe it. How many times have you watched a Dove commercial? What was the name of that commercial? There was a commercial years ago. I'm going to prove it to you. There's a commercial. I'm going to sing a little bit of it, and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Like a good neighbor. Go ahead. What's the next words after that? State Farm is there. State Farm is there. Right? So when you hear that, exactly, and you know that. But how many times did it take in order for you to understand that when you hear that in your ear, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there, right? And before you know it, you're singing the whole thing, and it's giving you the feels, and it helps you think of all the good things. And what do you end up doing? I need some insurance. Let's go on ahead, baby, and get on down the street. Let's go to State Farm. It's got to be an agent. That's how that works. Johnny Q. Public is stupid. And I wasn't mad. It also helped me to understand that if I say something long enough, you'll remember. I've also told this group this too, and you need to hear me on this. And that's why it's so important for you to question everything, even question me sometimes. But y'all know how I do. I like to pull it up in your face. Be like, okay, let me go ahead and read this right now. 21 days to create a habit, but let me also school you on something else. Not only does it take 21 days, It may actually take longer, but listen to this. You ready? Radio. I'm going to use radio. If you have been in here before, you have heard me talk about how important this is, especially now. I'm from radio, hence the name, Paulette on the mic. I did news for radio. Now, when I first got into radio, I had an amazing gentleman who taught me everything that I needed to know about radio and why we had to do things the way that we did. You'll notice that in radio, you hear your favorite radio station's call ID or call letters multiple times throughout an hour. Want to know how many times I had to say or the call letters had to be said throughout an hour? It had to be done over 150 times. And you listen so much mindlessly while you're working and in the office and you're listening to the local commercials and so forth, you never notice the drops, the liners, the way that you say it. So I would have to say, thanks so much for joining me this morning. Welcome to Magic 104.5. It's your girl Paulette on the mic with you until 2 p.m. this afternoon. We're going to be here with Magic 104.5 for the rest of the day. So keep it locked right here to KGMC Magic 104. Do y'all see how many times I said that in 30 seconds? For every radio station I was ever at, that was the rule. And by law, you have to say the call letters at the top of every hour. So if I hear long enough that they are, and I need y'all to hear me on this, because when you're listening to a press secretary who continues to tell you over and over, first of all, you are supposed to have authority. You are supposed to be a leader in press and in marketing, and your words are supposed to be synonymous with truth. We know that about press secretaries. That's why they choose the people that they do. So when you are talking and that comes out of your mouth enough, you're hoping that we're dumb enough to believe it, because like my college professor said, Johnny Q. Public is stupid. So if she tells you enough that he's a gang member and that all illegals are grapists and essayers and all of this and all of that, they hope you believe them. Because I'm sure her college professor, if she went to college like I did and others, and I'm not saying anything against her, I don't know the child from a can of paint. Yes, child. If that is the case, if you say it long enough, it becomes believable. And if you are like most Johnny Q. Publics out there, guess what you're not doing? You're not checking facts. Guess what else you're not doing? You're not checking to see if they're telling you the truth or not. But he knew. See, here's the thing. Carol Sue said no one said that enough about Felon 47. He knew. And what he also knew, and here's the unfortunate part, he knew enough money could create for you the life that you wanted. A gentleman came out right before the election, and he said, we created him. We created the superstar for The Apprentice. Wasn't that the name of the show? We made him look, he was an idiot, was basically what he said. We created him, and he is dangerous. The old sleight of hand. I'm over here doing one thing the whole while all of this other stuff is happening. And then people come into other people's lives and not just mine, and they're arguing and they're argumentative when y'all don't even understand that people like me and others that are in this room, we don't care nothing about left or right. We for what is right for human beings. That's what it's about. We don't care. So goofy. It's so stupid to me. Like, I don't understand. And so when you are looking at all that is happening right now and they're keeping us focused on this, like I said before, I say it again, and I know I'm probably going to lose you all, but I'll say it again. I thought to myself, I said, self said, why is it that a day later you got 4 other individuals going down there to El Salvador, and this folks right here in the US of A that need you? He told us who he was. He never not once lied. He told you was never going to have to vote again. He told you all you have to do is get through this. He told you. He told you he loves the uneducated. He said it. Why are we surprised? And then not only did he say it, then they made it, oh, he's a father and he's this and he's that and it's amazing. And then they kept repeating it and they kept repeating it and 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 kept. Yep, just like that, just like that, just like that, right? One woman said she was staying in El Salvador until Garcia is released. Look at that. Now, I will say there are other Congress people that are checking in on other people here in the States. Now, I did see that. So we're not lumping all of them in there. But we're also talking about defunding colleges, because y'all don't want to educate underprivileged communities that they have an opportunity to take STEM classes, math and science and all of that. What is this really about? Y'all know what this is about. They are afraid that they are losing power. They are. They're afraid they're losing power. And that is why you have Midas touch. That is why the colleges are like, no, we're not. So then yesterday, he sent, I think it was $2 billion, something like that. I don't even think it was that much, to HBCUs yesterday. And everybody got excited. Are you serious? Exactly. Systemic racism. He gave more in his last term, but every president gives money to HBCUs, which are still grossly underfunded. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about how it has impacted my household. I have a child at an HBCU. Y'all, and the countdown is ticking. Woo! Hey, Paul Warren. Hey, The Rock. I'm just saying, like, we gotta put some stuff in perspective. Like, HBCUs underfunded, always have been. People like me and other parents felt it. Polo fam, you have y'all heard from the Marching 100 at all this year? One of the baddest college bands out there, 400 strong. My daughter is in the band. Their budget was so poor this year, they could not attend anything. So you didn't get an opportunity to see them this year. They couldn't go nowhere. Always underfunded. And the alumni, most of them can't afford it, except to go to homecoming. I went to a PWI. And I wish, that's a lie, I spent a semester at Spelman. Then I ended up at Georgia State because it was just too expensive for me. I was like, oh, hell no, y'all got me messed up. And I'm an older student. I'm out. Nope. So there's that. But yeah, underfunded and poor little. So the funding that they were used to getting had already been cut. And so the Marching 100, who still is not the football team, but got most of the press and would get the people to fill up the stadiums. And y'all seen the viral video of them over in the corner doing the, hey, oh, let's go. So if you haven't seen it, go ahead and check it out. Marching 100, FAMU, right? So they didn't have enough money for the entire band to be there. That wasn't even the whole band. And so my daughter was like, Mother, I don't know what I should do. It's just, I said, well, honey, you're getting ready to graduate. If you don't want to perform for the last year, well, they going to, and so they let her keep her scholarship. And her scholarship, it was supposed to be a full ride. Going somewhere with this. It was supposed to be a full ride. It wasn't a full ride. We still owed 11 grand when it was over per semester. But that's a full ride. She had HBCU. She was like, so she told her little brother, she was like, KJ, don't do it. Don't go to an HBCU. So it's always been that way. So when we hear that he's given $2 million or whatever it is to HBCUs, how you going to split that up between all of these? I think it's over 100 HBCUs still standing. I'm not excited about that, bro. While you're defunding public universities. Make that make sense? But these are what your tax dollars are paying for. And I don't ever want y'all to forget that. Ever. Don't forget. Don't ever. Now, what were we talking about? So let's talk about what's happening. We're going to talk about this because it's happening right now. Israel is using high-powered bombs to maximize deaths in Gaza. The latest war in Gaza is killing civilians at 4 times the rate of previous conflicts there. Experts say it's likely not an accident. I don't think so. Suggesting that Israeli forces are choosing to use the most powerful weapons available to deliberately maximize death and destruction. Russia launches massive attack on Kiev as Trump touts peace deal. While Trump is criticizing Zelensky for harming peace negotiations. Of course, it's not an accident. Take the streets, people. Take to the streets, people. Yeah. Hey, Tracy 252. Hey, Art of Protest. Everything's active on the trade talks. But guess what China said? Or like my homeboy says, China. I don't have to put an R on everything. China said, no, it's not. He's lying to you all. We're not negotiating. Now, if it's a lie, the man said it. I watched it this morning. I said, oh, it's like that? Ain't that happening? So according to Trump, everything is active on China trade talks. Speaking from the White House lawn, he vowed the U.S. will strike a fair deal with China, but brushed off questions about whether he's considering lowering tariffs. Well, I'll say all the things. Let's talk about Southwest, shall we? They're cutting flights amid a slump. Sales slid by $149 million in a first quarter, with the airline attributing the slump to weakened travel demand and global economic uncertainty. You think? Are we seeing a pattern here? What is that pattern, folks? The carrier also withdrew its full-year guidance and announced plans to cut flights later this year. To turn around sales, Southwest is enacting several new and unpopular policies. What are they? They're abandoning open seating. Y'all remember how you could just get on Southwest and sit wherever you wanted to, especially during COVID? Boy, I flew so much during COVID, it wasn't even funny. My daughter was getting ready to have a baby and get married, so we used it. Get your passport, hurry up. Okay, Sean said you have to get your passport, hurry up. In contrast, Delta and United both boasted better than expected profits despite slowing domestic travel. Why would there be slowing domestic travel, y'all? Well, number one, probably because it looks like some things are falling out of the sky that usually don't, and we don't know why. And a lot of people are not flying to the U.S. right now, especially when we're talking about people going over to Hawaii, didn't book their flight, didn't book a hotel, and they get deported. I'm scared. Do you see how facetious my face looked when I said that? Okay. Google is cracking down on remote work. This was something else that I said we were going to discuss earlier when I first popped in. Working from the office at least 3 days per week or risk losing your job. That's what Google says. Several units at Google told their remote workers this earlier this week. The crackdown comes at a time when the tech giant and its competitors are increasing investments in artificial intelligence and looking for ways to offset the expense. Remember, I said this earlier. We talked about this before for some of the folks who are regulars in here. If you do not use AI, do not for one moment ever think that your job is not on the line if you are still gainfully employed and you use your mind in your job. Sorry. Resumes are being looked at not by humans anymore, but by AI. And AI is leaving some very reputable people on the cutting block. They never even make it to the interview. Okay, so we're using AI in so many different things. There was one gentleman, president of a company, he said that he was going to stop hiring because you can get AI to do that and figure out how to do it. You had AI do your resume. Art of Protest, how did that work out for you? Because now they say the LLM can actually read like the keywords and stuff, so have them to build it, right? So when you build it, okay, cool. Trump stirring up vitriol in Burkina Faso. Are they trying to arrest that man? Advocating for a coup. Did you get the job, Art of Protest? We can ready to talk about Burkina Faso before we leave this broadcast. You did. Congratulations. It did not work so well for me. Hey, T-Berry77. It did not work so well for me. And my feelings were hurt. So I had to redo it several different times. I was like, okay, I need one for HR. I need one for this. I need one for that. Okay, I'm going to do this one. Okay, we're going to go ahead and sit them out based on my skill set and my certifications and my education and so forth, for my experience and all the things. I have officially, and I have kept count, because it'll tell you, the system that I use will tell you how many you sent out. In the past 3 years since I was laid off, I have sent out over 350 resumes. Of those 350 resumes, I have gotten 2 job interviews. Of those 2 job interviews, they both told me that they were no longer hiring. How's that? Major multi-billion-dollar corporations too. Yep. So I said, you know what? Maybe this is my sign to continue to keep doing what I'm doing and see what the end gonna be, like the old folks say. Let's see what the end gonna be. All right. So back to this. So working from home has become the norm, right? People have gotten so good at it that they can literally do their job more effectively at home. Why? Because you don't have the distraction. So when I had my office, I was working full time. I could get maybe 2 hours worth of work done because my office was like a revolving door. Miss Paulette, can I talk to you? Miss Paulette, can I report? Miss Paulette, can I do such and such? I was a part of employee relations, so I did a lot of investigations. I couldn't get a lot of stuff done. And employee engagement too. Oh God. So investigations, so forth. Somebody want to come in with the tissue. I kept a box of Kleenex because Kleenex said bless you, and we would sit there, we would talk. But working from home allowed me to get more investigations done, allowed me to go more out into the community and do the community relations I was supposed to do for this company and so forth. But when you are in an office, a couple things happen. Your supervisor can be such a micromanager that it can wear you out and you're aggravated. And you're like, why are you reading me so tough right now? So you got to pretend that you're working when in reality, you might be checking to see who else is hiring. Like for real. How many laptops can you bring in? One for you and one for the other to get onto their system and they can still see what you're doing? Because you're miserable. So company spokesperson clarified the hybrid work mandate only applies to certain teams. Some affected employees are being offered voluntary exit packages. In other words, either do this or deuces. Okay? How about that? PepsiCo is having some issues as well. Let's talk about that. Stumbles in North America. PepsiCo, but why? Why do y'all think this is happening? Because we do know that Target's numbers are still low in terms of their stock price. We also know that Walmart's stock price is low as well. Not as low as Target's though, but it's low. We know that. PepsiCo's latest earnings came in a little bit salty, a little bit sweet. The food and beverages behemoth beat expectations on revenue, but saw demand soften in North America. Why? Because you said that you were going to agree with what this man said and get rid of your DEI. It has also cut its forecast for core constant currency earnings per share, pointing to volatility and uncertainty in global trade. You think? Including the Trump administration tariffs. So let's dig a little bit deeper. Why is that important? Because I need y'all to come with me and understand that a lot of the stuff that we're checking on right now, I don't ever want to just continue to go surface, because it's important for us to understand. Just like the other day, I mentioned to y'all how tariffs really work and how someone like myself orders things and then we have to pay the taxes on it when it arrives. Let me see if I can find this. Here we go. There are businesses, I'm on Brownstone Worldwide, y'all. Businesses are trying to pass tariff costs on to customers, because if not, what's going to happen is those tariff costs, and they're doing it now so they can start paying for the taxes on the things that are in port that are sitting there. I hope that makes sense. So they're trying to get ahead of it now. So we're going to raise our prices on potato chips. We have to. We don't have any other choice. We got to go ahead and we got to save the company. Even though we got billions of dollars in reserves and millions of dollars in reserves, we're going to go ahead and pass that on to you. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. And then we're going to continue to grease his palms. I'm just going through the news right now. Stock futures are sliding as China dashes hopes of trade negotiations. This just dropped 20 minutes ago. After a two-day relief rally in the stock market, momentum slowed considerably today as mixed signals about tariff negotiations tempered investor optimism. Before trading again began, both the Dow Jones Industrial Average futures and S&P futures were down, signaling a weaker start on Wall Street. The tech-heavy NASDAQ composite futures, however, were up. Tech-heavy, trying to get the money up front for the upcoming tariff. That's right. That's exactly what they're doing. Wanda, that's exactly what they're doing. They don't have any other choice. They can't afford to get their stuff here. CNN, there was a gentleman, I played it yesterday. This guy said that they have stuff in port that they can't get because they can't afford it. And he's had to let go of 7 of his 12 employees. So he's down to 5 employees. And yes, he said, I did vote for Trump, but we weren't expecting him to do this. Yeah, it's happening. It is happening right now. I mean, but what can you say? All right, so the shift in market sentiment is a departure from the previous 2 days when markets rallied on news of a potential U.S. trade deal with China. Okay, let's talk about Burkina Faso. And they're saying that the president is a problem. How is he a problem? Have you all been paying attention to what this man has been doing? The president of Burkina Faso, his name is Ibrahim Traoré. I don't even know how to say his last name. I don't want to mess it up too bad. The challenge is going to be translating the country's rich mineral resources and promising economy into stability and development. That's what they're saying. Putting his country on his shoulders. Correct, Max. I agree with that. So here we go. Hey, Melvin, come on in. So what he's done is he's basically said, we're gonna put y'all first. We're gonna put, because y'all been coming over here and pulling all of our minerals and our resources for generations, for eons. And I needed to stop because my people deserve this. This is their homeland. This is theirs. Did y'all see that the electric car that came out of Burkina Faso? Yeah, it's rich in resources. It sure is. So he said, "No." Oh, I've been keeping check on what's happening over there, because I'm like, he is doing the thing, and you can't be mad at this guy. Like, come on, France went over there and they said, we're gonna take whatever, and then you're gonna work for us, and we don't care how old you are. You're gonna get in these fields, and you're gonna get this stuff, or we're gonna take it back to our country, and we're gonna live off of it. Okay. Can y'all make that make sense? Does that make sense? That's like you coming in my house and you see my fried chicken and my macaroni and cheese and my sweet potato pie and my collard greens and my homemade cornbread, and you see all of the fixings and my banana pudding and everything, and I made ham and we got the sliced cranberry sauce, all of the things, and it came from my hard-earned work. And then you come in here and you just take a whole wagon and you come and you pick it up and you dare me to stop you. And if I try to stop you, you will hurt me. And then on top of that, you then come in and you say, and by the way, while I am eating the food that you prepared from your hard-earned work and dollars, I'm going to just go upstairs and I'm going to go and lay in your bed. No, I'm good. Matter of fact, when I finish laying in your bed, when I get up, I want you to go on ahead and make the bed up for me and clean the sheets and everything else. And then I'm going to use your water that you pay for. And I'm going to use all your resources in your house. And I'm not supposed to fight back. You too, Fleetwood. I'm not supposed to fight back. That's exactly what he's doing. But what he's done is he's starting to give to his own community. So what he's done is he's withdrawn from specific organizations, forming instead the Alliance of Sahel States with Mali and Niger, countries also run by post-coup administrations. Under Burkina Faso's new transition plan, he may remain in his position until 2029. Now, his popularity has soared since his ascension to power. At President John Mahama's inauguration in Ghana on January 7th, he received the loudest applause of all 21 African heads of state. Afrobarometer reports that almost 2/3 of Burkinabe believe the army should intervene when leaders abuse their power. Likewise, 66% accept military rule, up from 24% in 2012. The fact that the survey was conducted at a time when the country was under military rule portrays a general acceptance of the regime. He embarked on radical reforms that resonate with many from Burkina Faso. He wants to take ownership of mineral resources, 2 gold mines, and stopped exporting unrefined gold to Europe. Instead of inaugurating a national gold refinery expected to process 150 tons annually. Other significant achievements include establishing the National Support Center for Artisanal Cotton Processing, building a new airport, and considerable agricultural investment. Rejected financial assistance from the International Monetary Fund and World Bank, insisting the country can develop without the West loans and conditionalities. For some, this is a demonstration of Africans handling their own affairs. The country has mineral resources and produces substantial quantities, listen, of gold, zinc, copper, manganese, phosphate, and limestone. It also has reserves of diamonds, bauxite, nickel, and vanadium, most of which remain largely unexploited. Now it's gains, it's made some gains. Gross domestic product increased from 3.2 billion to 18.3 billion. Hey, Queenie. Extreme poverty declined from 83% to 27.7% in the same period. Now, of course, you know that they still have their challenges, and they just found oil. So I could go on and on and on, but the news, according to the news the other day that I read, they want to go and take this man out. And I don't mean just take him out of position. They want to unalive him. Because what they're saying that he's doing is showing dictatorship. And that would be France and the US. Thank you, James. I appreciate that. Can y'all make that make sense? All he wants to do is make, now in this instance, I get it. I don't know all the other ins and outs. You know, I'm going to have to go down the rabbit hole so we can come back and kind of discern what I have identified and learned more of. But from the research that I have done, from the reading that I have done, this guy literally is just trying to make sure that his people are taken care of. And that the resources that are currently available to him and to the people who were born and raised there literally go to them and nobody else. They shouldn't be working for pennies. That's it. That's real simple. Like I said, that's like coming in my house and taking everything that I just cooked and worked hard for. That's what makes sense to me. That's like coming in and taking my larynx out of my throat. Because this has made me money. It continues to make me money. It's a valuable resource that my body came with. Make that make sense? And he finally got tired. Hey, Billy Bob 42, how are you? Burkina Faso and their president, Ibrahim, soaring eagle. I don't think that this gentleman is trying to extricate himself. He's not trying to make, he's just trying to make sure that his people get what they deserve. And now y'all mad and y'all trying to make him out to be the bad guy. Does this sound familiar? How many times have they done this? But when you are only getting, obvious to the most casual observer. So when we're getting our news from the resources we've always gotten them from, you don't learn about this unless, of course, you are doing your due diligence and your research. How is that different than Putin? I don't see this gentleman going to other places and taking anything that isn't his. He just says, no, we're not going to do it this way. And you saw, based on the data that I'm currently looking at, that there's been an increase in their GDP. Nobody else should just be able to come in and say, we're going to take all your gold, all your diamonds. Wait a minute, hold on. And then we're going to put you to work in the factories for pennies a day. And y'all can live in squalor, and we're just going to take it over to France. And we're going to continue to make you all look like you're animals and you're this and you're that. When in reality, these are your riches and your resources. Ah, okay, yeah. Now you're right about that. How is that different? Yeah, they're trying to call, them calling him a dictator, and they aren't trying to get rid of him. It's so much I could say behind that. Sorry about that. I didn't understand, Wanda K. Yeah. So I've been watching that car that's being manufactured over there is beautiful. I don't know if you all have ever seen it. I'm gonna have to start sharing and doing some more digging. And we just do it. We just continue to keep doing it. And because most people didn't fight back and they didn't say anything, we were so giving, and Native Americans were so giving, and here, because that was the nature of the people. And so it is nice. It is absolutely gorgeous. That sucker was fire. And wait a minute, it's not as expensive as the other ones that are out there right now. If he could ever mass produce it outside of the country, it would do really, really well. Really well. So I said all of that to say, yes, Burkina Faso this man is being targeted. His name, I don't want to mess up his last name, but his first name is Ibrahim Traore. He's just trying to right some wrongs, folks. And if he's lived in this country his entire life, he has witnessed and watched what happened. Now, when he get to doing some foul stuff, and like I said, I don't know all of the story, but if he gets to doing some foul stuff, then he should be called out too. How many assassination attempts on this man's life? I think it's up to 28, if I'm not mistaken. They keep trying to take him out. But the one thing that I can honestly say before we start wrapping up, the greedy don't want anyone doing good. No, absolutely not. They want access to the diamonds and the oil that was just found, and they want access to all of the things. This is like a living, breathing Wakanda. It's just amazing to me. These people, they wild out here in these streets. That's exactly what it is, G Nana. Modern day colonizers. You need a nap. It's so much. It is so much. It really, really is. I know Carol soon. We're going to be wrapping it up in about 3 minutes because I got other stuff I got to do. I got emails to send out. I got to make sure that the cover looks good and that we are good to go. So I'm going to be wrapping it up here in a minute and go ahead and get ready to do the afternoon news and all the things and get back on track. I got a ton of stuff to do. But now, what do we need to do? Oh, Corey Pointer, I don't think I understand your comment. But anyway, so again, thank you all. If you are new here, I'm Paulette. I'm the owner and founder of Brownstone Worldwide, which houses brownstoneworldwide.com, Cityscape Radio, and you guessed it, Brownstone Living Magazine. This isn't the only thing that we do. We cut commercials here, honey. We do all the things, and we start filming a new television show on Saturday. Super excited for that. Nervous, but excited. And we're going to see how that goes over the weekend. But yeah, go back to Africa. I'm not staying here. And you're ex-military. Wow. Oh, you want to go back? Okay, I got you. Yeah, okay. You're ex-military. I heard it's amazing. I have friends that go regularly and became dual citizens. They're thinking about making it permanent. They're amazing couple. Amazing couple. No worries, Corey. We're here just about every day, unless, of course, I got something I got to do. But y'all, I got to go. It is 12:30. Yesterday, we stayed till 1 o'clock, but I came on a little early today. I was here at 10:30. Now, again, brownstoneworldwide.com, Cityscape Radio. We also have Brownstone Living Magazine. What else do we do here? We cover news and information that you can use on a regular basis. And I'm going to be honest with you. I want to thank each and every one of you guys that makes it your business to try to connect every day and check up on me. Y'all check up on me, okay? Like when my daughter, when that situation happened at Florida State, you all were inboxing me. To you as well, G Nana. You all were inboxing me. You were like, oh, we want to make sure that your daughter is okay, da-da-da-da-da. So I appreciate you all for that. I am on Substack. We're going to be goofing around with it a little bit more so that I gain more clarity on how to make this sucker work, but we're going to get there. I'm also, you need your daily Paulette Carol Sue. I need my Carol Sue fix. You have no idea what it's like coming in here and Carol Sue don't come on first. For real. Like I was looking for you at 10:30. I was like, okay, if Carol Sue come on here, I'm going to be okay. Seriously. Angie T. Who else? SR Brillinger. The Daily Deals with Nia. Who else comes on here regularly? Okay, Sean. We have our regulars that come in here. Fleetwood. MC. I haven't seen him in a couple of days. CJ. You keep oh, because you know what? And I'm trying to make it where it's steady because I think I'm superhuman until my body says, you can't do that. You can't do that. So I'm paying attention. So I noticed that I'm good between 10:30 to 1. I'm good. If I can get in here between 10:30 and 1, I'm okay. So 10:30 seems to be the magic space. But y'all, I got to find out if this part for my AC unit outside is here. Because I'm sitting here and I'm about to sweat. Where them fans at? Right? Okay. I'm so serious. It's hot in here. It is hot. But listen, I'm going to be checking out Substack. We're going to be doing some other things. I got some emails and stuff. I got to get to the office and work. That's what I got to do. That's what I got to do. Y'all, my AC is not working. And y'all know how hot it get in Georgia. And I am not in Atlanta. I am south of Atlanta. I'm about 45 minutes from downtown Atlanta, right? Which means if it's 102 degrees in Atlanta, oh, baby, it's about 103, 104 here. And I've noticed that since I moved here in the 90s, it has gotten hotter and hotter and hotter every year. But I wouldn't dare move back up north if you paid me. You couldn't do it. You couldn't. It's not happening. But anyway, all right. So 3 things. Oh, no. You have a friend in Alpharetta? Ooh, that's Cobb County. That's exactly what it is. Don't forget y'all 6 list. Here's the thing. These are awful. I need a new planner. So 3 things that we do here. Number 1, we take our vitamins and we take our meds. If you're not doing it, this is your reminder to go ahead and do that. Number 2, we always start with our hot coffee and our ice water so you can get your fluids in. Number 3, we always end each show by going over our 6 list. What is the 6 list? The 6 list is the 6 most important things that you have to do for the day. Okay? No matter what it is, write it down. Especially if you're in this age group that I'm in, you forget stuff. Okay? Write it down, and as you complete everything on your 6 list, cross it off. If you are not able to finish everything on your 6 list, what do? You make those the priority for the next day's 6 list. That's it. And you continue to keep going until you see the results that you are seeking. And then lastly, the last thing that I always do is I always end each show with these 3 words of encouragement. Number 1, love your life. It is the only one that you have. Live your life to the fullest is number 2, because you're only getting one you. You might as well enjoy the life that you have and make it work for you. And then lastly, breathe through every single moment. I will see you all in these internet streets throughout the day. Continue to stay connected to me for news and information and updates. I don't do breakings. I do a little cluster of news so you are not inundated and overwhelmed, because that wears me out. I try my best, unless of course it's super serious. But if it's not, you can check it out on my Facebook page, on YouTube under Brownstone Worldwide. I give the news, and you'll hear me. You'll hear me right away. You'll say, "Oh, that's Paulette." But yeah, here we go. You guys, we're out of here. We'll see you around. Bye.
Welcome to Brownstone Worldwide. Welcome to Brownstone Worldwide. Tips, topics, and talk, we got it all. Brownstone Boozy and Breakfast with Vernell. Here to entertain, and we will help you live well. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you are welcome in the essence. This broadcast, Brownstone, the light is contagious. But you need go on and receive it for yourself. Just open it, exuberant, evolution, excited. We standing on the foundation of expression. You might have seen, you might have been, or you could have gravitated. Our foundation, we want to create a space for all to collaborate and be liberated from eventually all over the globe. And we are extending a hand to those who are an extension from maybe platforms, dig into another stratosphere. Welcome to Brownstone Worldwide. Welcome to Brownstone Worldwide. Tips, topics, and talk, we got it all. Brownstone Boozy and Breakfast with Vernell. Here to entertain, and we will help you live well. And that is MSG, the message in the message. I can OD on my execution of excellency. And this as a man right now, and things aren't